Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I have made a video. Last time I was on, I discussed Mania. Tonight I am going to discuss NXT TakeOver WarGames 2020 with my sister Twisted. Hello, hello.
Hey guys, hey.
So, let's jump into what was a fantastic show, fantastic match card. Overall grade for it, given Bleacher Report and CBS Sports, was about an A-, which I actually solidly agree with.
Mm-hmm.
Match number one was the Women's WarGames match. I was surprised to see that they opened with that one. However, I'm okay that they opened and ended the show with a WarGames apiece.
Yeah.
You saw Team Shotzi, which consisted of Team Captain Shotzi Blackheart, with a new and improved tank.
Mm-hmm.
Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai,
Mm-hmm.
NXT Women's Champion, versus Team LeRae, which consisted of the Poison Pixie and a team captain, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Toni Storm. Interesting move to turn her heel, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We'll discuss that more later. So you saw a lot of great back and forth. You also saw at one point an interference by someone who wasn't in the match. Indy Hartwell.
Yep. Hartwell.
However you say her name. Regardless, it was an overall good match. Picking up the win was Team LeRae via Raquel pinning Io with an amazing with a great showcase as to why this is probably the best women's division in all of wrestling today.
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of highlight moments. One of them being my favorite is after seeing Io constantly being kept out of the ring, kept out of the match.
Mm-hmm.
Climbs to the top with a freaking trash can, like crossbody while wearing the trash can.
Yep.
And closing out the match, the power bomb kind of deal that Raquel had performed on Io to close the match in between both rings and through a ladder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was actually a really good match. You got to see Raquel go against Rhea, which Rhea has stated in one of her recent interviews that she'd love to go against Raquel in more of a stipulated match. So I guess we got to see kind of a preview to that, a little spoiler or teaser. It was really good that once they brought in the toys for everyone to kind of show, hey, this is why I'm here, this is what I'm capable of. Kind of, a push towards Io Shirai, like, hey, if I'm your next opponent, this is what you have to worry about.
Io Shirai is one tough cookie and is not to be taken lightly, so I look forward to seeing what they do with her in the future. Mm-hmm. Match number two, you had a singles match, and this was just a battle of heavy hitters in Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher, in which Tommaso picked up the win in a very impressive fashion. At one point, busting open Timothy's ear.
It was actually towards the end of the match when he busted it open, like right before the pinfall. Just about.
That was a very unique cover, by the way. If you haven't seen it, there's a moment where he performs a move called the Willow's Peak, and him realizing how close he is to the ropes, just kind of laid full body, like covered the entire upper half of Timothy, holding his arm as close to the body as possible, really not giving any chance of a kick out.
And 1, 2, 3, and scored the win from that.
Next match, you had Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes in a strap match. It had its moments where it kind of dragged, but overall a good match. Dexter Lumis picking up the win, in which I stated in her prediction video, he definitely had the mental advantage. He's really good at the mind games, and this is his first strap match.
Yeah. In all honesty, that was not my favorite of any of the matches. It was one of actually my least liked matches, and I usually prefer stipulated matches where like it's a strap match or four corners matches, as Pyro knows. Those tend to be my favorites, but this one was just I couldn't get behind it at all. You know, taking the he I will say Cameron Grimes was smart and went for the underhanded tactic before the match even started, but there was just there was no point in that match I could get into it.
All right. I mean, I honestly I've been somewhat out of the loop with NXT for the last couple weeks, just given my work schedule and whatever. So I didn't really know what the rivalry was, to be completely honest. But whatever.
It started way before like Halloween Havoc or whatever. So I mean,
I do love Cameron Grimes coming in with his own strap. This got to be the strap for the match, or I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Referee's like, well, I have the official. He's like, oh, I'm not gonna do it. So do you care? Okay, fine, whatever. Looks at Dexter. Do you care? It doesn't seem like he really cares. So whatever.
Just kind of stared at the ref.
Like, dude, does that man ever speak?
I don't think I've ever really seen him speak.
I don't think I've ever heard him cut a promo once in my life. All right, so moving on from that one, a fantastic match. NXT North American Championship match, triple threat match, where you had Damian Priest with Johnny Gargano and walking in as champion, Leon Ruff.
Or as I like to say, Leo Rush, just the bootleg version.
Walmart brand?
Walmart brand version of Leo Rush.
So you got to see a lot of what each man what
each man could bring to the table in that match. I mean, Leon was taken out for a short bit, but having the champion's advantage and having that champion's heart came back.
I'll say, well, there really was no champion's advantage because under triple threat rules, but he did show like he's not to be taken lightly. He is a serious competitor unto much of the opinion of his opponents. Picking up the win in that match, and now the first and only 3-time NXT North American champion, Johnny Gargano, with the help of a few ghost faces. One of them turning out to be Austin Theory. I'm curious to see where that goes, because the pairing of a heel Johnny and Austin Theory
looks promising.
It really does look very compelling.
All I gotta say is Johnny going to be able to keep his title once defended after this? Because he now has Sasha Banks's unlucky streak.
Or he'll win? Yeah, where it's the first defense of any title he has ever held.
He loses it.
Immediately.
But Sasha Banks came back from her
she redeemed herself.
Yeah, she redeemed herself at the last pay-per-view she was actually in.
Yeah, she redeemed. Yeah, okay. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna work out in itself, because a heel Gargano is great. However, if he drops the title again, I'm okay with not seeing him in the title picture, because it seems like he's always in some kind of title picture.
I mean, I could see him going with Austin Theory to be tag titles, to be tag champions.
That's what you haven't seen since his days of DIY.
And I think it would be Austin Theory's first title
in the company, yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, now closing out the match, very heated, personal.
You are forgetting something about tonight.
What?
The little snippet we got of Karrion Kross coming back.
Oh, yes. The little short video package.
Mind game.
In between, which match was that?
It was between the North American title and the very last match.
You saw a snippet of what seemed to be a crow on a perch, and one can only think that's a video package kind of hinting at the return of a Mr. Karrion Kross, which I'm okay with because I kind of missed the man in the ring. We also got to hear from Finn Balor a bit.
Yep, as he will be coming back to NXT on Wednesday to address some things. We will be able to see the Prince in action, hopefully soon.
That kind of kicked off the show, like right before any matches started. So I'm excited to see Finn Balor back. I am excited to see Karrion Kross return eventually. I'm hoping that's what that bird on the perch meant. Because if not, I'm going to be very sad.
If not, we have a very interesting newcomer coming into NXT.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Now, on to what the main event was. You had the men's WarGames match, and this one was heated, personal, great rivalry all around from way back from over the summer. You had the Undisputed Era take on what do they call their little faction? For the Brand?
I believe that's what they were.
It was.
He even came in with his own new shirt. Pat McAfee did.
Yes, I don't remember what exactly it said on the front, and then on the back it
read. As if it matters.
Yeah, that's fair. But you got to see the Undisputed Era, which led by Adam Cole.
Baby.
Thank you. And then you got to see again for the Brand, which was Pat McAfee, Oney Larkin, and Danny Burch, which are your current NXT Tag Champions, and
Pete Dunne.
I think this match did a lot more storytelling upon, McAfee's return to the ring, which I still don't know why they brought him back.
I like that this went from over the summer, the whole rivalry, yes. Cole or Pat McAfee coming in to talk with Cole, calling him to a show, saying all these bad things, and continuously going from there.
I feel like it was a great, personalized rivalry that generated a lot of genuine heat because there was an actual disdain that each man has for each other. Yeah. There was a lot of high points in that match. One of my favorite and one of the most interesting matches was For the Brand had 4 tables set up.
Yep.
Specifically assigned to each member of the Undisputed Era. Mm-hmm. Only one of them got used for its intended purpose. Yep. But I find that unique and a really strong mind game.
I like that when they used that one, it was Pat McAfee who actually did a backflip off of the top turnbuckle to put him through the table. That was a great show of athleticism on Pat McAfee's part.
They got to have some fun with some toys as well. And Pat McAfee surprisingly showed why he's not just a punter. He showed that he can hold his own in the ring, and then aligned with the guys that he aligned himself with.
Who did carry most of the weight tonight, I will say. They did kind of carry most of the
weight. And Pete Dunne was the only one on his team with experience in that kind of match. So, but again, kudos to him for putting out a great showing, a match that he's not really used to, because, it's only his second match ever. Great showing. You got to see the Undisputed Era prove why, with or without titles, NXT is their show. Mm-hmm. And then picking up a victory with Kyle O'Reilly, pinning Oney Larkin. There's a lot that happened in that match, though.
I know we would have rather seen Adam Cole pinning Pat McAfee, but I will give it to Pat on another note of him climbing to the top of the cage and kind of swanton bombing off of the top,
taking out all members of both teams.
Yep.
Again, he's quickly showing why he does kind of belong, and he's one of the few that have been, outsider and really good transition into the ring, and I think NXT is the best show for him to do that with. Mm-hmm. I also feel, again, like I said, a lot of stuff happened in that match. One of the best parts of the storytelling was the Undisputed beatdown.
Oh, yes.
Of Pat McAfee, where they pretty much just jumped him. They were able to isolate him and jumped him, and I was saying it throughout the match. If I don't get to see this moment, I'm going to be upset.
But that's because they were smart and took out all other 3 members on the other side of the second ring with, the forearm, the elbow, the knee, and then the super kick from each member of the Undisputed Era, taking out every single one of them. And then cornering Pat McAfee, surrounding him, and just the ultimate breakdown.
Alright. So, with that being said, overall a fantastic night. Mm-hmm. Another highlight moment is just closing moments of the match. You saw a lot of just mayhem and Danny Burch going through the table meant for Bobby Fish by Bobby Fish.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
So if you guys haven't already seen the NXT WarGames of 2020,
go
check that out. Seriously, you guys will love it.
But this will just about wrap up the show.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching. Like we said, watch WarGames if you haven't already, and be looking out for my next video.